A haunted doll is a handmade or manufactured doll that is believed to be cursed or possessed in some way. In this list we'll be counting down 5 haunted dolls. Number 5. In 1972, Kerry Walton returned to his Australian hometown for his grandmother's funeral. During this time he decided to face a childhood fear by visiting an abandoned building that had scared him for years. When he went to this house he discovered an old doll underneath the porch. Kerry felt compelled to take it home with him, and they've been together ever since. According to psychics, the doll was made 200 years ago by a Romanian gypsy for his son who had drowned. The gypsies believed in spirit transference, and dolls would act as a new home for the dead. The doll has real human hair, and underneath the scalp is a likeness of a human brain. He was given the name Letta. It's said that if the doll is taken outside it will rain, and hanging pictures may fall off the wall when he enters a room. Dogs bark and attempt to attack whenever they're near Letta. Letta is also supposedly capable of moving on his own, changing positions while seated, and emitting a pulse when held. Number 4. This voodoo zombie doll originated in New Orleans and was sold through eBay to a woman in Texas. The eBay listing gave rules to abide by while owning this doll. These included not removing it from its silver casing, a rule the woman broke as soon as the doll arrived. She would come to regret that decision. The woman claims the doll haunted her dreams and would attack her repeatedly. She relisted it on eBay several times and succeeded in selling it, only to have the new buyer receive an empty box while the doll kept reappearing at her doorstep. The doll is made of string and cloth, and the overall look of the doll gives off a really creepy vibe. Number 3. Mandy is a porcelain baby doll made in England or Germany between 1910 and 1920 and donated to the Quinnell Museum in British Columbia in 1991. Mandy's donor has said she would hear crying in the middle of the night coming from the basement, and it wasn't until after she gave Mandy away that the crying ceased. Though the crying stopped for the donor, strange occurrences continued as Mandy took up her new residency at the museum. Employees say lunches go missing only to turn up elsewhere in the building. Footsteps are heard when no one is around, and office supplies like pencils and books always appear to be in a different spot from where they were last placed. It took the museum some time to decide where to place Mandy. They say she couldn't be encased with other dolls because she had a tendency to harm them. Visitors to the museum say her eyes will blink or follow you wherever you walk. She also likes to mess with camera equipment whenever anyone tries to take a photograph. Number 2. Robert was given to artist Robert Eugene Otto in 1906 by an unhappy servant who practiced black magic. Throughout his childhood, Otto's parents heard him playing and conversing with the doll. Assuming he was replying to himself in a disguised voice, he's considered one of the most haunted objects in the world. Neighbours claim to have seen the doll moving from window to window when the family was out. Sometimes the doll would emit a terrifying giggle, and the Otto family caught glimpses of it running from room to room. In the night, Eugene would scream, and when his parents ran to the room they would find furniture knocked over and Eugene in bed looking incredibly scared, telling them that Robert did it. In addition, guests claimed to have seen Robert's expressions change before their eyes. When Eugene died in 1974, the doll was left in the attic until the house was bought again. The new family included a 10-year-old girl who became Robert's new owner. It was not long before the girl began screaming out in the night, claiming that Robert moved about the room and even tried to attack her. More than 30 years later, she still tells interviewers that the doll was alive and wanted to kill her. Number 1. Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll alleged by demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren to be haunted. The doll resides in a glass box at the Warren's Occult Museum in Connecticut. The Annabelle doll was given to a girl named Donna by her mother in 1970. Donna and her roommate noticed the doll would switch positions or move around the apartments when they weren't looking. Eventually they began finding messages on parchment paper like "help me," even though they did not keep parchment paper in the apartment. They brought in a medium who concluded the doll was possessed by the ghost of a girl who was buried underneath the apartment. A man named Lou, who was the fiance of Donna's roommate Angie, had been staying with them since the doll had arrived. Lou wasn't fond of the doll and warned Donna that it was evil. One night Lou awoke suddenly from a deep sleep and realised that he was unable to move. He saw the Annabelle doll at his feet and watched it slowly glide up his leg and over his chest. Before he knew it, the doll had begun to strangle him until he blacked out. He woke up the next morning certain that his experience wasn't a dream. The Warrens were contacted and took the Raggedy Ann doll away with them. It's been in their possession ever since. To this day, Annabelle lives in the Occult Museum. Her locked case is holy water encrusted. So that was 5 haunted dolls. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe for more countdown videos.